Hi Leo, Ali here from Indigo Ascension. Thank you for being here. This channel is dedicated to empaths, intuitives, sensitives, those that identify as being on an awakening journey or path. I offer free weekly and monthly readings. And what else? There's more information about the work I do as an intuitive energy healer in the description box below. But this is a reading for your week beginning April 27th into the 3rd of May for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter signs. I've also included below links to online natal chart generators, okay? Transformation, wow. I love this card. This is the Phoenix. You're going through a deep metamorphosis, and you know what? Maybe that means in the weeks prior, Leo, there was a lot of clearing, a lot of subconscious release. As we approach your season, you know, definitely into Cancer season where you'll be entering your 12th house. You know, this might only be activating for you at this time now. What are we, Taurus? Yeah. Transformation. You've completely transformed something. Maybe you are in reflection mode, Leo, and you're looking back at the last year, the last few months, how much life and circumstances truly have transformed. And anything that transforms on the outside, Leo, is simply a reflection of something that began internally a lot earlier. You're working a lot with creative energy, Leo. This is definitely sacral chakra stuff. You are transforming that creativity center and source that sees any of us make manifest from that energy. So if we're operating from a center of fear and we're then moving up into the next chakra and creating from there, you know, so continues the flow. So I do want to say, be aware of that. And there's something here you're becoming aware of too, with a lot of that purple color in the background. That's very much about third eye chakra stuff. So perhaps things are coming into your awareness that perhaps need transformation as well. So apply it how it resonates, but let's take a look and see what the tarot wants to say to clarify that message of transformation. That is your weekly theme. But all time is fluid. You might have been going through that. You might be going through it. You might be going through it in the future. I also want to say, Leo, so this reading will reflect the energies most prominent around you. So if we're thinking about a circumstance in our life, it might reflect that. If you're focused quite a lot on another person, wherever our intention and focus go is where the energy flows. So this reading may reflect you, the other party. It may reflect the circumstance and what it means for you. Wow, you've got a lot of jumpers. King of Pentacles, Three of Swords. What fell down? The Tower. Should we keep going? No, yeah. I'm going to keep them out, love, I think. One more shuffle, because this feels relevant. No wonder you're going through transformation. On the bottom of the deck is the Ten of Swords. A lot of the signs are going through some deep, deep subconscious healing release. Underneath all this is what influences you, okay? And when the Ten of Swords sits in that position, Leo, it's very much about a closing of a chapter, the Death card. You're like transformation plus. The Knight of Swords, Page of Cups, the Knight of Swords, the Six of Swords, the King of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. Okay. Can we say, wow, this is huge. I'm not going to underestimate this at all. You really are coming out of a time. It might even be a 10-year story, whether that's within a connection, within a partnership, a marriage, just your life, okay, Leo? Underneath all this, and when I say underneath, it's at the bottom of the deck, so it's the energy underneath that is influencing your thoughts, your perceptions, the events that are unfolding, perhaps your realizations. So, you know, as an influence card, this really is about everything you have learned about how vital it is to truly close doors and chapters before beginning anything. And even our darkest chapters and periods have ultimately been the pathways to our phoenix rising. It is from the ashes that we rise. And this, you know what, there's something about change that many of us deeply resist. You know, I love this card simply because it guarantees that everything was of purpose. And who loves the Ten of Swords? Weird, right? But in this deck, and I've never seen it like this before, like, because traditionally in the tarot, the Ten of Swords is quite a dark card. Its only positive message is it promises a guaranteed ending. The worst is truly behind us. But if you have a look closer, Leo, there's a lot of beautiful golden healing light. Like, despite what's happened, despite the journey of life, despite the experiences within a connection, whether you have felt deeply betrayed, you know, there's been some healing here. And I think this points more so to what you've learned about betrayal and heartbreak and how it's been a teacher for you. And instead of, you know, and this feels very similar to the Cancer reading, we can use the lens of fear to guide us, to be our guiding light, or we can use it as a choice, a crossroads point, you know, and see it for the gift that it was. Just because something was done to us doesn't mean we will then go and do that, you know. Just because we've experienced some of the darker character traits in other individuals doesn't mean we emulate that and embody it and choose to show others that moving forward just because it was done to us, you know. Quite the opposite. You know, there's a lot of transmutation and alchemizing that happens, and that is always a choice. Not everyone does that, yes, but something tells me, Leo, that despite the circumstances you have had in the past, when you've either chosen to see the world with love or fear, you've always chosen love. What centers you is the star. What crosses you is the Three of Swords. Maybe there has been a relevant conversation, communication this week or recently that has illuminated something for you. But I do want to say your deepest wish at this stage, regardless of whatever you do with this thing, okay? I feel like I'm talking to a specific Leo that is at a crossroads point that just wants to know. All masks are off when the Three of Swords shows up. We are getting the truth regardless. We are speaking the truth regardless. And that is our inspiration. That is our wish. That is your deeper wish at this point, is just that raw level honesty. Because you have learnt in the past, Leo, where lies can build up and deception can build up and lack of authenticity can build up to something within a connection, within ourselves, within another, that it gets to a point that it's like, if you had have only just told me at the start, we might not be in this position, okay? So I do feel I'm speaking to Leos that are ready to put their cards on the table. Not that you've held back. I feel like this is more so you discovering something, you coming across some information, you being made aware of circumstances perhaps, or another's truth. But I'm not discounting the fact that you might be doing this to another too, okay? So finding some things out. Now, listen, that's very Plutonian energy, and by the second week of this month of May, we are going to have 4 planets in retrograde. When Pluto goes in retrograde, a lot of stuff comes to the surface. Revelations are made, the truth is heard and seen and experienced. We see the intentions that were perhaps hidden, okay? So apply that on personal levels, community levels, global levels. Plutonian energy unearths from the subconscious. And it is even that same energy that navigates us, where we start to ding, 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 and a few things start to happen, and you go, you know what? Maybe I was looking through rose-colored glasses before. I'm now ready to speak, because this is a sudden, the star shows up too, you know, as sudden awareness, sudden insight, you know, maybe messages from your guides, like just intuitively knowing as well. I also generally want to say, you know, for the Leos out there that I'm speaking to, for the most part, this message is about not being navigated, you know, at those crossroads of life. Every time you've had a choice to choose either love or fear, you have chosen love. You know, you haven't been navigated poorly by your experiences of trauma and heartbreak. You have chosen otherwise. Yeah, you might be connected into an Aquarius here, okay, because there's some sword energy here, and there's the star. Okay, above this is the King of Pentacles, Leo. Below this is the Death card, Scorpion energy, Phoenix energy. Behind you is the Tower. Now, if that's not a shock to your stability, I don't know what is. The King of Pentacles can represent an individual, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. It could represent your financial circumstances. Maybe you feel after a time of heartbreak, sudden endings, and you know March was that for many of us collectively. There were ends to career, having to restructure finances, having to work out what is next. Something shifted and changed here for you, Leo. That was heartbreaking, yes, okay, but I do want to say it was a hidden blessing. And you're, for the Leos that are taking that piece of information on board, you will know what I mean, because there's a potential apology coming towards you. All right, if this is in connection to a relationship, an individual that has done the wrong, has dropped something on you unexpected, okay, a sudden announcement, a sudden leaving, a sudden ending, discovering information that was heartbreaking, potentially connected to an earth sign, potentially connected to a Scorpio, potentially connected to money. It deeply transforms the foundation of that connection. It has, I can see that. Now, I do want to say that there is an apology coming, okay, or an expression of emotion in some form if it has been quite cold, because I do see here that there are Leos out there that are perhaps questioning themselves about not letting their heart speak for them. They want to remain emotionally cut off and be logical about this thing, whatever that is. I do want to say, Leo, this has been a blessing in disguise, and I know you might not feel like it in the moment, so I do not say it lightly. Everything that is built on shaky ground will always end exactly the same way. How something starts is how it will end. The energy of intention, when two energies come together, is the same energy of how it leaves. Anything built on shaky ground will always fall. And I think you perhaps intuitively knew that from the beginning. And I do want to say there's probably even Leos that owe themselves an apology because they've perhaps opened to trust, they've opened to love, you know, because there's this thread here, this storyline underneath. This has happened to me before. Why? I shouldn't trust people, you know. I knew I shouldn't have trusted that individual. But the very fact that you opened your heart and chose to trust despite what has happened in the past, Leo, it's a reflection of you and your deeper intentions for yourself and your life and what you ultimately believe in. I do want to emphasize the fact that this is a blessing in disguise. I do feel like someone will be running towards someone and someone is running away, wanting out. It feels that I could also apply this energy in the same sense that it's happened all too quickly. Okay, you weren't quite ready for it. It's this change, this information, this sudden realization, this sudden shift in a connect. I really feel like I'm connecting into Leos, to a particular Leo, that this is in relation to a connection to do with money, information about money that was discovered. I could also be connecting to Leos that suddenly lost their job, okay? I'm very strongly picking up a frequency on a relationship. So I feel like it happened really quickly, okay? But you're coming to a time of peace and acceptance, you know when something is really raw and real and we don't even know where to stand. It's shifting sand way too quick and everything feels like feels like an earthquake. So we're in reaction mode, we're in survival mode, we're heightened, our emotions are heightened, we're probably yelling and angry and we're going through I feel like you've done that already. You really are transforming and transmuting a lot of energy of the recent past. This might go back as far back as a storyline that started to become apparent to you in October last year, November last year, more so in Aquarius season, so January this year. So if the tower finally falling, if the shock and realization, the sudden awareness happened in late January for you, you're definitely coming into calmer waters. You're now at the point in the timeline, because we're in April, you're now wanting to come into calmer waters. This might even be a 3-year story, okay? I do want to say that there's someone is rushing in, wanting to rush in to make an apology, but someone else, the other party, most likely just wants to move away. And I feel like that's strongly your energy, Leo, where you are just wanting, the only thing you're deeply hoping for is that you can maintain your sense of equilibrium and be logic rather than come from your big, beautiful heart, because you know how you love. You love with a full heart. Like it's the energy of the sun. And yes, it's powerful enough to burn away all the heaviness, and you will in time. But it is also now time to turn that on you, I feel, in many ways. So there's a Leo out there that is moving into calmer waters. You will remain logical, and it is your best approach, perhaps, when you embody this King of Swords energy. I really feel like you are dealing with an Aquarius, Gemini, or a Libra, Aquarius most prominently. Maintain this detachment from your emotions, not in an unhealthy way, but sometimes we have to make very practical decisions that talk to our financial longevity, security, feeding children, all that sort of thing, Leo. So it's important to embody that. All right. There is a gift here. You end your reading with the Ace of Wands. Now, that could be a new partnership, a sudden passion for life, a sudden spark of a connection. This is a very passionate connection. When the Ace of Wands shows up, you know, I want to pull even more cards, because wow, there's a balancing here. If you are leaving, I feel like I'm speaking to one specific Leo that perhaps a long-standing connection has fallen down. Perhaps there were lies about money. Perhaps the situation we're in now, with the loss of money over the last month and the circumstances and the time we've all spent together, perhaps truths were revealed. I feel like I'm speaking to a Leo where a partnership has crumbled in the last few months at some point. Sudden realization, sudden awareness. But this ending was a blessing in some form. In many ways, you are about to meet your match. Now, look, I'm not one to advocate rushing from one connection to another. It's not about that. But obviously, everyone is unique. Everyone's different. Once the lessons have been integrated, once the transmutations have taken place, you know, we're well within our rights, obviously, to go and connect for any reason other than wanting to. So I feel like I'm talking to a Leo that is leaving a connection, sorting their life out, getting stuff sorted and finalized, and getting fine, and having to make decisions at this time that will lead to future security, long-term security. But I do want to say you are meeting your match. Okay, you will be meeting your match, and you also, this time alone, is going to gift you with an opportunity to truly embody other qualities of yourself that you have not allowed. Okay, so this person that is amazing with her boundaries, or his boundaries, that has been through a lot and knows exactly what is worth investing in and what is not when it comes to connection or anything, any investment of her time and resources. It is in this time you'll also develop very practical applications of your skills and abilities. You will find out how resourceful you truly are, Leo. You know, this shocking event, and it might have even gone back as far as 3 years ago. But in this time, you have learned, you will learn that it was of purpose, because not only it was a self-development catalyst, okay? It kicked off something that ultimately led from one thing to another, and it's not about you dumping and going straight into another relationship. It's something develops within you, something transforms, and you really are like not like your old self in many ways. So apply that wherever it applies on the timeline, Leo. You develop qualities of yourself that you've been wanting to for a very long time. You know, when the Queen of Swords shows up as the energy I was talking about earlier, the Queen of Pentacles, other women may be involved here, okay? They may be the reason of this. They may be influences on you to help you embody this energy and truly influence you, to navigate you on your path ahead, to help, you know. But you had to be resourceful, you had to be very firm and clear and distant from your emotions in order to truly navigate through financial loss, or through losses in general that are very tangible, in order for you to have an amazing new beginning and experience what is karmically and rightfully yours. I feel like I'm talking to a Leo that was not in a situation that was well yoked. Not equally yoked is what I keep hearing. Not your match. And you'll know what I mean. And it's not, you know, there are parts of us that need to be met, you know, and everyone is unique and individual. And if you are going through this first part of the reading at the moment, I do want to encourage you, Leo, and say, as much as it is messy, as much as it can, you know, I do feel for those Leos that I'm connecting to in that regard, they are coming and moving into peaceful, more calmer waters. This information, this knowing what you will learn about yourself, this is truly starting to integrate now, okay? What you develop within yourself, the character traits you develop within yourself because of these challenging circumstances, are either about to be experienced or will be experienced. You will see exactly what I mean when I say it had to happen for a reason, because of who you will meet and how life pans out. You've got the Ace of Cups, you've got the Justice card, the Ace of Swords and the Chariot. A year from now, or 1 year in time frame from whenever this happened, a lot is achieved, a lot is changed. And you might even be reviewing this story, Leo, because it happened up to 3 years ago. How much you grew, how much you changed, how much you transformed. You are definitely closing some bigger 10-year cycle and chapter, okay? But I keep picking up on 1 and 2 year windows, okay? A year ago, a year from now, all right? Everything has happened for a reason, Leo. That's a very specific story I'm picking up on. But I see that you are transmuting this week, which is very much retrograde energy, all right? You are the phoenix. You are on fire. Release the past.